Alright, let's take 2 minutes and look at how to take code from the design editor into Shaders MCP into your project. I have a hero section set up over here with React. It's got a nice placeholder waiting for us, and we need to take the shader into that project. So here I have a shader. This is just one of our pro presets. I've made some changes, just some tweaks, added some interactivity, and I'm happy with the way it looks. It's ready to go. So I'm going to go down to the bottom right hand corner to export, click export, and this window is going to pop up. Now I'm using React. Luckily I have React selected already. You can pick any other of our supported frameworks as well. With React selected, you'll see we have options for exporting the code manually or using the Shaders MCP, which is what we're going to do today. If you haven't already, we'll connect to the MCP. I'll do that here for you in a second so you can see that process. And then we're going to copy and paste this prompt. This is what the agent's going to get to know that it needs to trigger the MCP and install this specific shader. So I have that copied to my clipboard. Let's jump into our project. Okay, so here I am looking at the hero section that we're going to add this shader to. This is for just a make-believe art gallery, and you can see we have this gray box in the background. That's exactly where I want to add this shader effect. So let's start by jumping into the terminal. This is just a terminal I've got set up in the project directory, and I'm going to run the command that will install Shaders MCP. That is npx shaders at latest install MCP. Now it's going to ask, where do you want it installed? On my system, I have it installed in a few places. I will just go down and deselect some of these. I only really care about Claude Code for this example, because we're going to use Claude Code in this case. We'll go ahead and run that, and it will tell me, hey, it's installed, you're good to go, and here's where you can find more documentation if you need it. So let's close that down and open Claude Code. When we do, you'll see one MCP server needs authentication. Well, that's Shaders. Let me run the MCP command, and you'll see, yep, Shaders needs authentication. I'm going to go ahead and authenticate into this, and I'll be right back. Okay, and I have authenticated into my Shaders account, which means that now the Shaders MCP can access my personal resources, meaning the shaders that I have designed. So if you remember, we copied into our clipboard the prompt that we're going to use to install this shader. I'm going to go ahead and paste that directly into Claude here now that the Shaders MCP is in place. I am going to give it a little bit of extra context because I want to tell it, well, where do I want to install this, right? It just says in my project. So I'm going to delete in my project. I'm just going to say ask Shaders MCP to install watercolor and paper. That's the ID number from my shaders into the heroes section background of this project. A little bit more specific, you can provide as much context as you want. If you didn't have a background in place, like this placeholder that I have, you could tell it, I want this to be full screen, I want this to be on the left half of the screen, I want this to be in a particular card. You don't have to just rely on the initial prompt to get this running. You should be really telling it exactly what you want. But this will get you started. So ask Shaders MCP to install watercolor on paper, the ID from my shaders into the hero section background of this project. I'm going to hit enter, let this run, and I'll see what happens. And just like that, we have an interactive shader running in the background of this hero section. Took it a couple of minutes for Claude to just find the shader, pull it down, connect it up, and yeah, works perfectly. This is how you can connect your design editor to your projects in just a matter of seconds. You can say, hey, I want this particular shader installed, or I want this particular preset installed. And you can also ask Claude or any other agent to tweak the colors, to hook up reactivity. So you could say any of these props, maybe if I hovered over this button, it might change the colors of the background. You get a lot of options using the Shaders MCP.